We think we want to date separate people. Consensually, of course.
This is real and completely unscripted and at times pretty funny, especially her. The first half of this video is us working through our concerns and insecurities about it all. And then the second half is our sincere, but maybe goofy attempt at establishing the rules and boundaries for these dates.
So listen as we discuss our potential experiment, and maybe let us know if you'd be willing to date either one of us. Hey guys, we want you to join us January 6th through the 13th at Hedonism Resort in Jamaica for a full resort takeover. This is going to be a sexual health and wellness experience like you've never had before.
We're bringing in experts from all over the country, actually 3 different continents, to teach you all about fitness, health, nutrition, sex, being better at sex. We're going to have workshops and events and some competitions, and it's going to be the fittest party in the lifestyle.
And it's going to be a party. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to reserve your spot today, January 6th through the 13th of 2024. You have plenty of time, and we'll see you there.
All right, hello everybody. This is Scott and April with the Naughty Gym Show, and we have a very, we hope, interesting show today. It's something that we've been talking about recently, but we're going to really try to hash it out today in this sort of live
Forum.
live action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
And we're going to need your help. So, or maybe if we reach an agreement. April and I have progressed in the lifestyle over the last 7 years. We started with a lot of rules, and now we don't have near as many. But we've come to a point where we realize we have some differences that might be hard to overcome.
Yeah. And we actually asked the question on Twitter, I think TikTok, and our Facebook group. So some of you might already know what this is about, and we're talking about separate dating.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is, over the course of this video, we're going to, and we have not done this yet, although we've talked about the possibility of separate dating, we haven't actually dug in and tried to figure out, are we going to do it? And if so, what would it look like? Those sorts of things. We're going to actually do that right now, and we don't know what each other's going to say, not really. And at the end of this video, we're going to either have reached an agreement on separate dating and how it's going to happen, or you'll never see it. But since you're watching this now, apparently we've reached an agreement. Okay, so April, we both have some insecurities about this, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think you should start first, but I want to preface this by saying that in the entire 7 years or so we've been in the lifestyle, for the most part, I've always sort of led. Like I've been kind of pushing to take the next little step and the next little step. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that works out, sometimes it's not so great, but I've always kind of been the one ready to take the next step.
Right.
In this case, it seems like you are the one ready to take the next step, or at least more comfortable with it than me. And hypocritically, that scares the shit out of me. I'm terrified now with her sort of pushing this a little bit. So we're going to start with April. What are your insecurities or concerns about the separate dating?
So I think initially my insecurities were physical, like, are you going to find someone that's prettier than me or a different body size? And that felt a little threatening. I don't know that that's really an insecurity any longer. But there's always a little bit of fear in the unknown. Like, is he going to like somebody more than he likes me? Is he going to have a deeper connection with somebody than he is with me? So those are always, I think, natural fears or natural kind of insecurities.
But like worried that I might find somebody that I think's prettier than you and then would leave you?
That's not going to happen. Just kidding.
Okay, but or any of those things that you think I find some date that has some attribute that you
Right,
think
that
is
I
kind of,
don't have that.
is the concern that you won't be able to deal with knowing I went out on a date with that person, or that I will leave you for that person?
Right, that you'll leave me for that person.
Okay, so
But that's not necessarily my fear any longer. That was a fear, but I think we've done enough, had enough dialogue where I don't really feel like that's an insecurity anymore. And I will say, shout out to Two Hot Wives, because we spoke with Ams of Two Hot Wives and her husband, and talked to them a little bit about their style of dating and open dating, and they are incredibly intelligent. And when we were having a conversation with them about their style of dating, something just clicked with me where I was like, I don't know why I'm so afraid of this. And my logical brain was like, there's really nothing to be afraid of. And I think I usually lead with my logical brain. And so for me, that's how most decisions are made for me, though. I get to a point where it just clicks, and then I'm like, oh, I'm not concerned anymore. I feel good about this going into it.
And would it be fair to say that most of the times those clicks that happen are the result of somebody else talking you into it instead of me?
No, because you've not tried to talk me into this.
Well, that's true.
But it's, well, I mean, that goes with anything. Like, I like to hear other experiences. And I mean, that's the same thing, you know, when you're a kid growing up and your parents tell you don't do this because
Right.
of this. Well, you want to go find out for yourself. But it was a culmination of a lot of things, of hearing from them and then some other people about their experiences, good and bad. But it kind of helped me expand, where I was like, okay, this may be something worth looking into.
Yeah, and this is what scares me, I think, is that we went from we had a conversation with Ams and her husband. I don't know if he wants us saying his name, but at Hedonism on the beach. And this is probably a 3 or 4 hour phenomenal conversations. One of those conversations that you just love about the lifestyle. And prior to that conversation, the last thing you had said to me about separate dating was that if I ever say something to you that I'm interested in separate dating, you should be very concerned.
I was wrong.
Okay, yeah. Well, of course you would say that, right? So that's one of the reasons it scares me so bad, is because you were adamant prior to that conversation.
Right.
That was the last I'd ever heard about separate dating. I'd never
No,
mentioned
that was a while ago, though. This whole year has kind of been, well, maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years has kind of been I've been on a journey of kind of self-discovery, and I've put the brakes on in some places where I should have put the brakes on long ago. So we've done full swap for a while now, and I kept finding myself in situations where I wasn't feeling fulfilled, and because I'm a people pleaser, I was maybe doing things that I didn't necessarily want to do all the time. Not that you forced me into any decision or I did anything against my will,
Right.
but it was just, I mean, I did way worse in my early years on my own. On my own.
Well,
I realized over the course of the last year and a half that my sex with you is amazing, and
because I'm so awesome at it.
right, and I would find myself in these situations where I was looking over at you going, man, she's really getting it good. And so I would look over at you and be like, man, that's what I want, because I know she's enjoying it. I know it feels good. And I'm just not really enjoying this whole situation. Plus, I don't necessarily enjoy watching you with another woman. I enjoy the fact that you're enjoying it, but I don't really care to watch. And I know you're different, you like to watch, but I've actually found that a lot in the lifestyle with ladies that I've talked to, that they really don't enjoy watching their husband with another woman, but they enjoy the experience overall.
Now that you've sort of laid out some of your insecurities, why is this different than most every other topic, next step sort of things that we've done in the lifestyle, where you're seemingly fairly comfortable with it, and you're not pushing me to do it, but you're not putting the brakes on as hard as me? What is it that makes you want to try it?
Well, I know there's things that you want that I really don't want to see.
Like what?
Like you like the intimacy with women. You like the cuddling and the snuggling and take a bath and long caresses. I don't really care to see
It
that.
makes me sound like a woman.
Makes you, right, smelling their hair and like watching them sleep.
I don't
No, I just
do that.
Okay. I don't care to see you do that with another woman. It doesn't necessarily bother me that you want that. I just don't want to see it. And so if we do separate dating, you can do that and I don't have to see it. And then kind of out of sight, out of mind. But then I also get to choose on my own without any outside influence who I spend my time with. Without feeling like, there's been times where we'll see a couple and I'll be like, oh, that guy's really good looking. And you'll be like, nope, not attracted to the wife. And so I shut it down. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not even going to say anything else. I'm not going to pursue it. It's a no, but it doesn't work. It hasn't worked vice versa necessarily. Not all the time. And I'm not saying to any of our partners that, but there have been times where you've massaged the situation where I finally am like, yeah, he's a nice enough guy.
All right, well, I want to be clear that I have never knowingly pushed you into a situation where you were not attracted to the guy or not overly attracted to the guy. I push for the situation to happen because I'm never sure if you're
right. But then that goes back to me being a people pleaser. It's easier for me to just go, yeah, I'll just go along with it, and then end up being unfulfilled. And so I put a break on all of our play a few months ago because I was like, I'm done saying yes when it should be a no. And I'm done having, and I'm not saying that all of our experiences have been unfulfilling. We've had some very fulfilling, made some amazing connections. But there's been a few sprinkled in there where I'm like, I don't need to do this anymore. And so I feel like the separate dating may give us both the opportunity to have, that new relationship energy, you get to, do your flirting, because I know you love the flirting and the pursuing and the wooing kind of thing. Yeah. And I don't enjoy seeing you do that.
Yeah. So, okay, we'll get back to, because you've made a statement about we both get to have those extra relationships that we choose without the influence of the other, which I think, and we're going to hash this out in a second, I think that's actually what you want from, like, maybe on both sides of the equation. It's not what I want on both sides of the equation, but maybe that's not what you meant, but we'll get to it. I want to talk about my insecurities, and the list is long. And
it shouldn't be.
Maybe not, but it is. It's not so overwhelming to me that I'm not willing to give this a shot. Mm-hmm. But it is. There are a lot of insecurities, and my rational brain can process that and say, "Well, you really shouldn't probably be concerned about that thing."
Right.
But it's just an emotional thing that I'm trying to work through. And I talked to my buddy Liam yesterday, and we just had a little private one-on-one WhatsApp about this. I told Liam that I think the biggest reason for me is that in general, I view you as a lot more attractive than me. I'm not saying I feel unattractive, but I think you're going to get a lot of suitors, and my phone is just going to sound like crickets. So that's one insecurity, is that I won't be upset that you get more offers. I expect that. What I wouldn't be able to deal with, and this is probably just an emotional shortfall on my part, is if twice a month, probably would never happen that much, but twice a month you're going out on a date while I'm sitting at home eating Cheez-Its and taking a bath by myself or something.
Well, let me address that real quick, because you're right. It wouldn't happen. Well, I can't say never. Never say never. It wouldn't happen twice a month. I mean, we don't really even get a chance to have dates as often as we
don't go out twice a month. So
but
probably.
I do agree that I would probably get more responses because, I mean, look at Twitter. Most of the people reaching out to us are men. But my bar, I think, is higher. I mean, I'm looking for quality.
I'm not.
But you do, but I think you have a lower threshold than I do.
That is not true.
I mean, maybe it's not. I don't know. It's all perception. But I would have a lot more work to do in weeding out to find some quality.
Yeah, but that's the good part.
I hate that part. I just want quality to knock on my door.
Yeah, well, don't we
And
all?
you like that part. You
Well,
like the pursuit and the like finding. That part I don't enjoy. Like I don't want to text with somebody.
Oh, God bless you. You got so many.
I
that you
know.
have to
I
sort
don't.
through.
I just blocked 2 people yesterday.
Yeah, I've blocked nobody ever in the history of my social media.
And it makes me sound kind of bitchy, and I'm not trying to be like that.
Well, no,
but
men can be dicks.
I love a smart conversation, and I love a smart man, someone who's quick and witty and secure, and that's why I'm so attracted to you. But that, along with confidence and someone who's assertive, has been hard to find, even when we're, full swap. And so I feel like you would have more success than I would, because I think women who are putting themselves out there are naturally smarter, great communicators. They're not hey, you want to see a dick pic?
Yeah. By the way, we're taking applications. I don't know how. I don't know how you message us or something if you're. I don't know if anybody's interested in going out on a date with either.
Also,
of
we
us.
would recommend. So we've not been on any dating sites, right? We're not
Yeah,
on
we may have to
Cassidy, we're
set
not
one
on
up.
SDC, we're not on SLS. So maybe that's our first step, is to get
Maybe
on one of those
Maybe on
sites.
Field or something. We'll set it up. Anyway, we're jumping the gun here. All right, so that's one concern of mine, is the imbalance of the number of offers. It's
Okay.
not the number of offers though, as much as I don't want you to have 3 really great prospects, people you're like, hey, this would be really fun to go out with these 3 guys, and I'm still sitting there going, well, I want to get at least one before you go
You
out.
can come with.
I can drive you to your date. That'll be great for me. Yeah. And maybe that won't happen. I don't know, but I think we've come up with a possible. We've had sort of this gentlemanly handshake that we might have a structure that might work, and we're going to kind of get to that as we're hashing this out. But yeah, it's a little bit of FOMO for me. I don't want you to be out there having dates and me not having any. Maybe that's not the way it plays out. I don't know, but that's a big insecurity of mine. And then the other one, the other major one for me. And I really think I've probably worked my way through this one, but the other major one is we don't make a lot of money, and
Just throwing that out there.
yeah, just throwing that in case somebody wants to write a check. But some really rich, successful guy, like in the movie, what is that movie, Proposal or
Oh God,
Indecent
that would
Proposal?
be amazing.
Okay, now the insecurity's back. But says, hey, I'd like to take you for a weekend to Tuscany, and
I am not saying no.
and look, if you just leave this guy, I could make all of your problems
yeah.
disappear. And I know that's not probably
Probable.
reasonable or something I should worry about, but it is an insecurity of mine, because that's just not something I'm capable of giving.
Right.
And so those are the 2 big ones for me.
Okay, well, let me squash that, because if I wanted to leave you for someone with money, I would have done that already.
Everything you say makes me start worrying about.
I'm just being funny. I'm pretty funny.
Yeah, it's really funny.
I mean, really, I've made my own money I've had a job since I was 11. I've earned my own way, taken care of myself my whole life. So that's not ever been a draw. Like, there's been days where I'm like, I wish I could just be a gold digger. Wouldn't that be an easy life? But I don't, that's not who I am. I am not leaving you for money. Now, I might for other reasons. I know I'm doing nothing.
This is going great so far. I'm so excited about this.
Well, I mean, I feel like losing you to someone else is not a fear of mine, because I feel like number one, I don't own you. And number 2, me holding on to you so tight is not going to keep you with me. Like, if you were unhappy in our relationship, you're going to leave anyway. So, that's why people cheat because they're unhappy in a relationship. So
Yeah, but I don't know that it always works that way. I mean, maybe you go out with a guy or I go out with a girl and we're just having this great time, and then you can't see through that fog of the new relationship energy to realize, well, this is probably not as good as it looks. And you know, is there not that real risk that you go out on these separate dates and you form that connection, and then it starts to maybe not ultimately ends up in you leaving, but it starts to screw with what you have, what we have. Like I'm worried I'm going to be looking over there and you're messaging in the bed, and I'm trying to like lean around and see, you know, is that
Yeah.
guy, or I don't know. It just could.
Well, don't you think also it has the propensity to make us both step up our game in our marriage?
Yes, especially you.
Right? I mean,
yeah, I mean it could.
And bring that new relationship energy back to our relationship.
Yes. You know, there have been some times where, like, there was a time where I allowed you to I don't like that word, but agreed to let you flirt with a guy online,
right,
as long as I could watch. And that was fun and exciting, but there was no risk of that going.
Sure.
Okay, so we came up with a structure that we're going to now hash through, because I feel like we both come to the point where,
well, we've not really come up with one. We're going to.
We're going to hash. Well, we have the smallest seed
structure,
of an idea. What we thought is maybe we agree to both go on one date each, and there's nothing agreed after that. Doesn't mean you can go out again. Doesn't mean you can't. Doesn't mean I can or I can't.
Right.
One date each. And what we want to do, and this may be wildly unrealistic, is it's on the same weekend. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Same weekend. Maybe not the same day. That would be ideal, probably. But we want to go out on one date each.
Like a whole weekend?
No.
Overnight?
Oh, calm down. You're a rich guy fantasy.
Tuscany. Can I get to Tuscany overnight?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll work on the details here in a minute. But one weekend where we have a date each, and we agree not to talk about the date after it's over until we sit down on camera.
Okay.
And just talk about it again. And we're going to be completely raw and honest about that date, if we, assuming we get one, and go on it. And then we just talk through our emotions of what we were feeling while the other one was on the date, if we're not dating at the exact same time, and then how we feel hearing how that date went. That's the general agreement. Are we in agreement on that to try?
I just don't want to hear all the details. I want you to have a great time.
Okay, so that brings up an interesting point that we need to talk about.
I'll tell you all the details if you want, but I feel like I need to hear all the details. I just need to know that you had a great time and that you had a great connection.
Or didn't.
Or didn't.
Okay.
Either way, yeah.
All right, so that's interesting point number one that we want to talk about. So we're agreeing to work through.
Are you writing a contract right now?
Yeah, I'm going to write all these things down so we don't forget them. You do not want to really know the details of my date.
No.
And part of that has been this realization since we had that conversation in Jamaica with Ams and her husband. You don't thoroughly enjoy watching me with another woman. If we have a good connection with that couple, it doesn't bother you, but it's not something that turns you on,
right,
really. So you don't feel the need to know the details of the date.
Yeah.
I am the exact opposite.
Right.
I not only want to know, I want to know every detail. And if you cut short and I feel like you're hiding things, I'm going to be very upset. And
well, I wouldn't hide anything.
No, I know. But I want to feel.
But I'm not as detail oriented as you are, so you'd be like pulling.
Oh yeah, I'll be questioning you for hours. It'll be like an interrogation with the FBI. In part, not because I want to make sure you didn't do anything I don't like, but because I like hearing. Especially the good parts.
Yeah.
I want to know the bad parts, but I really want to know the good parts.
Yeah.
Which brings up the next point. You have said, if I understood you right, you don't really want to know who she is. Right?
Yeah, I don't want to see, I don't need to see pictures of her. I do think we would need group texting, and we would also need to confirm with their partner that they are also on board with this. Because what we're not going to do is pursue somebody who's in a marriage and it's not consensually non-monogamous.
Okay, well, wait a minute. We're jumping here. But So you're saying they have to be currently in a relationship, no singles.
Right.
All right, permanent partner. So no singles. And why is that?
I just think the risk of finding some crazies, like they have nothing to lose. And I don't want a guy falling in love with me and then showing up at my work.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I know about it. You hear examples of this that people are having a non-consensual, non-monogamous relationship. They're having an affair, and it's with a single person who now wants them to leave their spouse, and
Yeah.
they threaten to tell their spouse about the relationship. We wouldn't have that threat.
No, I just think it's a little more dangerous. I don't
Yeah, you're probably right.
need single males blowing up my inbox.
Okay. You heard that, single guys. You got to be in a relationship.
Unless you're taking me to Tuscany.
If you're rich enough, you can be single, apparently.
But it does have to be consensually non-monogamous partner. You know, your partner, if you're in a relationship, your partner, we will have to have confirmation. I can call her husband of the guy that you're going on a date with, and vice versa. You can call the guy's
You're going to
wife.
call the husband of the guy I'm going out with a date with? Is
No,
that what you said?
you're going out on a date with a woman.
Yeah,
right.
But I think you said
I would
that.
call her husband, right, and speak
Okay,
with him
yeah.
to make sure, and vice versa.
Well, so I want to go back to the very first thing, though. I do want to meet, maybe not necessarily in person, but I want to have an extended conversation
Yeah.
with any guy that you're interested in. And you pick them first.
Yeah.
And then if you get
Well,
to
I
the
think
point
we would need to be in group text, right? So we
Well,
can
yeah, but
both get to
I may
know.
want to Zoom with them.
Well, whatever. I don't care.
So Scott talks to Guy. Yeah, because and part of that is I want to make sure that I get one of the things that always makes me comfortable in a full swap is if there seems to be a mutual trust and respect between me and the other guy. If I'm going to say, you know what, I'm comfortable with you having a physical relationship with my wife, there's going to be some sort of initial bond between me and the guy. And you know, I may not meet the guy in person, I might, but I want to have that opportunity to establish some sort of rapport and understanding.
Yeah, I understand that.
And you just don't give a shit.
No, I don't.
That is so weird to me. And that's one of the things we didn't know about each other. But this is one of the new things.
I'll get to know her through the group texting, but I don't
okay, well, let's
need
talk about
to
that.
see
So that's
her
point number
or
two.
meet her.
That's point number two I've written down here because I also think this is strange, but I agree with it. We want to have, if there's going to be communication between me and another woman that I'm going out date with, or you and another guy, we want it to be in a group text. I don't intend on being involved with the messaging between you and him, but I want it to be completely transparent, and I don't want to have to ask for it.
Yeah, but that's not strange. You said this is strange.
Well,
I think this is pretty common in the lifestyle.
Maybe, but doesn't it seem weird though that you're going to be texting with a guy arranging a date?
No, I think it's.
And me just like I'm basically over your shoulder watching it.
I don't think that's strange at all, in the least.
Okay.
And in fact, I feel like that's a safety, a guardrail that you put up.
Yeah, but are you gonna flirt with him?
Yeah. I flirt in front of you with men. I have sex with men in front of you.
Well,
Why wouldn't I chat with them?
Well, I know, but I have sex with women that doesn't seem to bother you as much as me cuddling with one.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying sometimes these things don't make complete sense.
I don't know why this is so baffling to you.
Well, I'm saying I agree with it. I want to do it too. I think there could be some strange moments. Like, I know for me, it'll feel awkward if I'm like flirting with this girl and knowing you're over there reading the text messages.
Not my problem.
All right, so we got group texting. Scott talks to Guy. April has no clue who the woman is.
I'll get to know her through the group chat.
April don't care. That's number one.
I'm gonna talk to her husband. Me and her, maybe her and her husband will hit it off.
Okay, so and we're confirming with our partners, and we're going to do, if we will probably stalk these people and find out. You make sure you're not giving us some fake partner or something. We're going to look at your social media. If you don't have a social media presence that we can track back a while, we're probably going to veto it. No single people. All right. What's another issue? Is a overnight allowed?
I don't think on the first one. That seems a bit much.
Okay, so no overnight, but is sex on the table?
Yeah.
Okay, so sex is at least potentially on the table.
Yeah.
It's not a foregone conclusion.
No, because if I don't have a connection with them in person, then
Yeah, and we should say,
I'm not having sex with someone. That's the whole purpose of doing this. I'm not having sex with anybody I don't want to have sex with.
right. We have not been historically very quick movers in the lifestyle. We usually take a lot of time to get to know people. There's some people that really can move quick. They can go to a club on a Saturday night and find themselves in an orgy and 2 hours after being there, and that is just not us. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes I'm envious of people that can do that, but for us, it's more about establishing this connection. I like to really get to know a woman and have that sort of slow build up, and you do too. You just don't like watching me do it,
Right.
So we're kind of slow. So sex is at least possible, but
then that also goes to another point that we had discussed was no more than 2 dates for the same person.
okay. I mean, yeah, I don't care.
So if it's a slow buildup, you kind of gotta speed that up a bit.
Well, I don't think that needs to be a rule. That's a rule for later, but not a rule about this particular date.
This first one. Okay.
I'd say we table that one
Okay.
for now, because all we're worried about is this one.
Sure.
Right. Okay. So sex is on the table, but if there's no overnight, is there a curfew? Like, I mean, because basically, if you stayed with the guy till 7 a.m., you stayed overnight, even if you didn't go to sleep with him.
I'm not staying with anyone till 7 a.m.
If you want, you're gonna have to move by 8:30 p.m.
I will be way too tired.
7:45 is even better. So what does that mean, though? If sex is on the table, but there's no overnight, and we're not going to our house.
Yeah.
Okay, let me write that.
Oh, no.
Not at our house
No way.
or our hometown.
No hometown. Nobody in this hometown or around our hometown.
Yeah, I mean, we live in North Alabama, so we're not trying to do this with our friends, current pool of people that we're friends with. This is an experiment for us to see if this is something that we would ever like to continue. So it's going to be a new person,
Right.
I guess, right? So it needs to be somebody relatively close to North Alabama, unless, hey, you're the rich guy
Birmingham,
with a plane
Nashville.
or something and you want to come pick her
Yeah.
up, or a rich lady. I'll take that too. There's rich ladies out there. All right, so if sex is on the table, but it's no overnight, is there still a requirement to get a hotel room or something?
Well, where are you going to have sex at?
Okay, so like you just gonna have if all things went well on the date, you're gonna go back with him to his room to have sex, and then you're gonna put your clothes on and come back home.
Yeah.
Take
Just
that
like I
walk.
did in my 20s.
Take that walk of shame.
There's
I'm writing
no
that down.
shame in that.
Walk
There
of
is
shame.
no
Walk
shame.
of what is it?
Walk of fame.
There's another name for it when you're proud of it, but I forget what it is. So that's number 8, walk of shame. So we're not staying overnight.
It's not a walk of shame.
What do you go call it? Walk of fame. Okay, fine. Are we going to?
Oh, it's a pride stride? Is that what it is?
Stride of pride.
Yeah.
That's it. Stride of pride. Are we going to check in with each other?
I think for safety reasons, I should probably check in with you and let you know, like,
Yeah,
hey,
well, and
we
I'm
just
gonna-
had dinner. I'm not dead.
Okay, so what's going to be the rule about checking in?
Oh, we've got our Life 360 on.
Yeah, but what if he takes your phone and hides it in the bushes with your body in another bush? What about let's say this. We have a start of the date. Hey, I'm going in. Everything was good. I'm coming home.
Mm-hmm.
And then in between there, if there's going to be a transition.
Like leaving the restaurant, going.
Yeah, but I mean, what if you go to 3 different places? I don't want either of us to have to feel like I have to keep checking in. But at some point, we need to give the other one an idea of we're going back. What if we're going back to the hotel?
Yeah.
I'm about to get it on. Well, if I have a bad date and I end mine quick and I get a text from you that you're heading back to do 3 hours in a while.
Well, maybe we don't check in then.
Then we need to have a curfew.
2 a.m.
Okay. 2 a.m. I like that better. 2 a.m. curfew. Oh God, yeah, but what if I get home at 8:30 and you're not? I'm just gonna be like chewing my nails. What's she doing? I have such a negative. I just know yours is gonna go good.
Oh God.
All right. So 2 a.m. curfew. That's good. I like
Yours will go good because you're a good planner when you want to. Like you're creative and like you can think of fun, exciting things to do. I don't want to do dinner and a movie. That's just lame.
That's my favorite thing. That's the thing I plan the most. I won't do that, ladies. I'll come up with something else. I can be creative. I just don't like always to have to be. All right, so we got 2 a.m. curfew. What else? What other
I
things?
think that's it.
So are you going to? You're going to drive to meet the guy. I'm going to drive to meet the girl. Like in other words, I'm not going to pick her up at her house. Mm-mm. You're not going to get picked up at our house. So no curbside service. And it's going to be on the same weekend. Same weekend, right?
Yep.
All right. So what's the weekend?
I have no idea.
No, we gotta set that. We gotta that way our
My next calendar opening's in August.
we need to let all 11 of our listeners know when they can expect this follow-up video.
It might be a Thursday night, a Wednesday night. I don't know. We should probably meet the people first and then pick a date. I don't know if you know how dating works.
Well, no, I'm saying in this experiment.
Because what if we meet people that we connect with and they're like, yeah, sorry, that date I'm booked. Then you got to find someone else.
Tough shit. You just got to find somebody
You're
else.
being a little dogmatic about this. I think we set the date later.
Well, yeah, but here's the problem with that: is if are you still saying no same weekend?
Yeah.
So we're going to have to orchestrate after we've gotten the connection with somebody a same date with you and me and them.
This isn't hard.
Okay, well, maybe it's not.
We plan events for 300 people.
Okay.
We can schedule a date.
All right, but let's do this because I want to be able to say when people might can expect. I want us to give a deadline.
Well, I can't possibly give you a deadline. Just like I can't possibly tell you how long it's going to take me to get ready.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not giving a date right now.
No, I'm not talking about that. But how you don't know how long it takes to get ready. You've been getting ready all your life.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, by the way, if you're going out on a date with April,
I'm going to look amazing.
And she's going to be incredibly late.
No, not for this one. I won't.
God, you always have the best comebacks. Then you cannot. All right, April cannot be on time because that's going to make me mad because you hadn't been on time for any of my dates. Cannot be on time.
If there's a hard start time, I am on time.
When?
Every movie you've ever taken me to.
That's because I try to get there when it's when the previews start,
right.
And then I have a little laugh. Okay, anyway. Okay, so do we have a set of rules that we can both? Is there anything else we need to talk through?
I got nothing.
If you're interested in going on a date with either one of us,
Do people still call people?
yeah, I don't know. So, that was the other thing. How are we going? If somebody was interested, we need to set up an account somewhere.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it on Field.
No, I think Cassidy.
Okay, so we're gonna set up an account, but how will people know about it?
They'll find us.
All right, well, we need to say. So we're gonna do it on Cassidy.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna set up an account on Cassidy.
You can post it on this video.
And I'll post the link to our name, screen name, or whatever it is, in the notes of the show here. Or you can reach out to us. Our Twitter account at Naughty Jim on Twitter is a joint account. We both see it, but you can reach out there.
Instagram, Naughty Jim.
Instagram, TikTok.
Don't reach out on TikTok.
Okay, I don't know how that
I know,
works.
Scott, you're not on there.
Yeah. And please, ladies, don't leave me hanging. I know she's gonna get flooded with offers. I need some offers. I'm so fun.
So fun.
Yeah, amazing.
And don't be late.
Well, I don't care if you're late. All right. Hopefully we'll have something to report soon, and we will link that follow-up video to this video. Wish us luck.